myself Amit. Today we will see how we can deploy ML model in Docker and expose it via REST API. So I have created this small application in Flask, and there is a one endpoint, post endpoint, that is /predict, and we are exposing our model through this API. Okay. Prerequisite for this tutorial is you should have Python and Docker installed locally on your machine. So let's begin with this tutorial. Hope this would be helpful for you. So let's begin with our tutorial. So in this tutorial today we will see how to upload a model into Docker, okay, or serve model through the Docker. So we have created, so if you see, so this is my project structure. Simple, this is a simple project, okay. I have a one model that do the prediction and tell the sentiment whether it is positive or negative, okay. So and then I have app.py. So this is application code, simple application where I am creating API. Okay, so this is simple REST API I have created with only single endpoint. Okay, and basically it is a post REST method. Okay, we are using here. Whenever we are calling the post method for /predict, okay, and passing our text, it will return whether it is positive or negative. Okay, by using this model which is present inside this particular folder, models folder. Okay, so this is our application, and this is requirement.txt file, and these are the different packages, Python packages that is required for this particular application to run. And this is utility.py, so we don't have to worry about what is written inside it. Basically it is just calling this model and returning the value. Okay, so main aim of this tutorial is to serve a model through Docker. Okay, so we will deploy the model with this application, class application, in the Docker, and we will call this particular /predict endpoint, and it will return the prediction whether it is positive sentiment or negative sentiment, okay, based on whatever input we are passing. Okay, and this is the model. So let's begin. So since this is a Python application, first of all we need to, let's first of all create a virtual environment. Okay, and then we will install all the packages required for this Python application. Okay, so let's, for this application, whatever the required Python packages are required, so I have mentioned inside requirement.txt. Okay, so these are the packages that would be required for this application to run successfully. Okay, so let's begin. So now we want to deploy, we want to create a Docker image. Okay, so for that we need to add Dockerfile. So let's do that. Okay, so this is a Dockerfile, and we will add all the required Docker commands inside it. Okay, so first of all we need to add from we will use Python base image, and we require 3.8. Okay, so this is the particular package that is required. After that, like working directory, we can mention this one. Okay, after that, if you can see, like it is showing all the, like whatever is required, because I have installed this chat GPT, so that's why it is giving all the required commands, but we will not do that. Let's type commands, copy, and we want to copy requirement.txt file. Okay, so that is nothing but requirement.txt file to the current location, that is nothing but /app. Okay, after that we would required to run this, run pip install requirement.txt file. What we are doing here is, like, we are copying requirement.txt from our local directory into the into /app inside Docker image. Okay, so this is that, and after that we are installing everything. Okay, whatever is present inside requirements.txt. Okay, so once this is done, then we will copy everything. Okay, whatever is okay. So what we are doing, everything else, whatever is present inside this, that we are doing the copy inside the Docker. So once this is done, then we need to run one command, which is very important, and that is same like that is mentioned here, Python nltk.downloader. Okay. So instead of typing wrong command, let me copy it, and then I will explain. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are running Python command. Okay, the Python dash c means this is a command. First of all, like we are importing NLTK, and then we are downloading uh, 1.4. Okay, and this is what we are doing, and then also we are downloading WordNet. Okay, so this is required for this particular model to work. Okay, so that's fine. Let's move ahead. Then we are exposing port 5000. Okay, okay. Once it is done, then we are writing this cmd command. Cmd, we are running Flask. Okay, so that's why it is required. Host is nothing but 0, 0.0 and port 5000. Okay, so this is the command that we want to run. Okay, so we are running Flask. Okay, because our application is written inside the Flask, and then we are hosting on current IP address. Okay, so first we will try to run locally, then we will deploy on Docker Hub this Docker image. Then we will download the Docker image from Docker Hub and run it again. Okay, so all this like troubleshooting and debugging, running, everything we are doing locally. Okay, we are in this tutorial we are not going to install or deploy on Azure or any cloud. Okay, so first we will do all this tutorial, this current tutorial on local machine. Then we will see. Okay, so let's move ahead. So this is done. Docker file is ready. So now what we will do? We will run again. Okay. So first of all, like delete this virtual environment. This is not required because we are not running locally. So let's remove this. Okay. When this is done, okay. So one small modification we need to do. So whatever Docker file I have created, we need to move that Docker file inside API. Okay, so I just move it got created outside, and I just move it inside this folder. Okay, API app slash API. Inside that I move Docker. Okay, so let's build uh, build our Docker image, and then we will run it. So Docker build. We will give tag. This is uh, this is my repo, and image name will be consider ml Flask app, and Docker file is present at current location. Okay, so now you can see it start building the image. It is first it is trying to download the base image whatever we have mentioned here, and after that it is doing all this operation. It will do like one by one. It will create the layer, Docker layer, and finally it will create this particular thing. Okay, you can see operation has been completed, and our Docker image is created successfully. Okay, let's check Docker image. Command is Docker image. That's, so it will list all the Docker image that is present. So if you see here, so this is the image that we just created. I mean, SS tag, and this is the latest image, and 23 seconds up. Okay, so first of all, let's run this image locally. Okay, and check whether it is working or not. After that, we will deploy this image on Docker. Okay, let's begin. So for that, we need to run command docker run. Okay, and for as we have exposed this particular inside the Docker image, we have mentioned 5,000. We will expose and locally also 5,000. Okay, and after that, we need to give the tag. What was the name? Name this. Just copy this, paste here, and run. Okay. Ignore this. This is the warning. Okay, so let's go. Let's check on 5,000. So now our Docker container is up and running. Okay, so let's access the application that we are running inside Docker container. Okay, so it is running on localhost and 5,000 port since we are running locally. Okay, so let's go there. So you can use any tool to access your REST API. Okay, since we have created this app and it require post. Okay, so we can't directly go to browser and type the URL. Okay, so we need a tool from where we can send post request to this application at 5000 port. Okay, so for that you can use Postman or some other tool. Okay, or you can add any browser extension to your Chrome. Okay, so I have installed this talent API tester. Okay, you can search and you can install it. It is very straightforward. Okay, so once it opens, okay, after that you have to just select post method, and you have to give the URL localhost and 5000, since we are running our application on 5000 port. Okay, and after that as you remember, like we are exposing this endpoint slash predict. Okay, so we need to use the same URL when we are sending the post request. Okay, so this is there. Content type is application JSON, you need to mention, and content encoding also you need to mention application JSON. Okay, now as you remember, like we have created this application to predict or to get the prediction of sentiment. Okay, whether it is positive or negative. Okay, so consider like we are getting some review on our product. Okay, and we want to check whether it is positive or negative. Okay, and we can automate this process, whole process. Okay, but currently we are just testing whether our this particular model that we deploy on Docker. Okay, and running the APIs, Flask framework to create this microservice. Okay, and behind the scene we are using a model to get the prediction of whether it is positive or negative. Okay, so we can pass here like any text. Okay, so inside the body we need to pass JSON in JSON format text, and we need to pass here like your product. Okay, and after that we need to send. So once you send this, you will get the result. Okay, so you will get the result. See here it is showing this is positive. Okay, so this is how like we created one model. Okay, this model is this. Okay, once model is created, now we want to expose it to general public, or we want to expose this. Okay, so we don't want like to pass this model to everyone and they're running locally. So instead of that, we create one API using Flask framework in Python. Okay, and then we created one endpoint slash predict endpoint. Okay, and whenever we are calling this post method and passing our text in text. Okay, and it is returning whether it is positive or negative. And behind the scene, we have created utilities one module, you can see here, and this is doing like this is calling model and doing all those operations. So that is not important right now. So this is right now what we are trying to do. We are showing like how we can deploy our model using Python. Currently we are using Python framework. This is nothing but Flask, and deploying inside Docker. Okay, so this is how it is working fine. Okay, when we run through Docker and localhost. So this is done. This is positive. Let's see like one negative scenario also. So it is showing negative. So this is how we can utilize this. Now let's move ahead and deploy our this particular Docker image that currently is running through locally. Okay, so let's say consider like now we want to deploy this or pass this Docker image to other people. So, okay, so what we can do, we can deploy it in Docker. Okay, so I have one public repository inside the Docker. Okay, so I will show you how I push my image here, and then we will rerun again by pulling the image from here on local machine, and then run again and test it. Okay, so let's begin. So for that, we need to log in into this account. Okay, so let's stop whatever we are doing currently. Okay, clear this. Okay, let's run Docker login and include username. This is nothing but a repository that I have created on my repository created on Docker. If you come here, this is the name with SS stack. Okay, so same thing. I'm trying to log in. Okay, we need to pass that as a user. Enter. Then it is asking for password. So you can give the password or you can generate one access token. Okay. on Docker Hub and just okay. Now you can see it got successfully logged. Process is very simple to push Docker image from locally generated Docker image to Docker. Okay, well, let's see our Docker image is present or not. Okay, so if you see Docker image is already present. So the way we can push to Docker Hub is like our image name should be like this. Okay. First of all, like we need to use the username or repository name. Okay. So Amit SS tag. Okay. This is matching with this thing. Okay. This is the username or repository name. Same place we are pushing it. Okay. So we need to give name like this. And after that, whatever the image name is, we can give any tag also like v1, v2, v3 or 1.0, 1.2. If you are not giving any tag, so it will be always latest. Okay, so let's see like how we can push this from which we have built locally, and now we are pushing it to Docker. So for that, command is very simple: Docker push and whatever the image name is. So it is trying to push, okay, on Docker Hub. Okay, so we got this particular error. Okay, so access token has insufficient scope. So currently access token that I have generated on Docker Hub, it was having only just read permission, but now I have given it read, write, delete permission. So let's try again using the same command, Docker push. Now it is trying to push. Now you can see now it is able to push it. Okay, so on Docker Hub you can generate the access token very easily. You can find related document how to do it. It is very straightforward. But when you are creating access token, just make sure you are giving enough permissions to write, like read, write, and delete. Okay, read, write is important. Delete, if you like to give, you can give it, otherwise leave it. But the write is must to push the image, and read is required. Read would be required when you are pulling it. Okay, Docker. You can see like it is loading. My internet speed is not very high, so that's why it is taking little bit time. Now we can see like our image got successfully uploaded. Okay, it is showing all the layers of the image has been pushed. Let's go to Docker Hub and check whether it is showing here or not, and just refresh once. Okay, you can see here now it got successfully pushed. Okay, 1 minute ago. So let's try to use this image. Okay, pull this image locally and run again. Okay, instead of running from local image. Okay, so image address. You can see this image is present here. Okay, so let's first of all delete this. Okay, so this particular thing I think is currently used by this container. Okay, so let's remove this container also first. Okay, that got removed. Again, remove the image. So you can see now that image is not present. Okay, now so let's pull that image from Docker Hub locally and then run again. Let's see whether it is working or not. Why we are doing this? So that we can upload this image and other people or other team members could use this during their development or during their testing. Docker pull. So on Docker Hub, its name is this. And if you are not mentioning any tag, it will be always latest. Okay, so we don't have to worry about tags. You can see here it is a latest. Okay, so let's come back. Okay, let's enter. It is using latest tag. It is mentioned here. Okay, it is downloading. your image, right? Let's see again. Docker image ls. Okay, you can see this image again got downloaded that we deleted earlier. So what we can do now, let's rerun again. Docker run, Docker run. Okay, and port you need to mention 5000 and image name. Just give few seconds. Okay, now you can see again it is running on localhost. So let's go back to our browser, to this tool. You can use any tool. I'm using this browser extension, Chrome extension. Again we will mention 5000, this predict. Okay, so click again on stand. Okay, and now you can see it is working same similar when we running through local. Okay, so image was local. So in this case we downloaded that the image from Docker Hub and again running from local. Okay, so let's see the negative scenario also. So this is also working well. So this is end-to-end one operation we have seen how we can create a Docker image for our Python app that is exposing one REST API through using the Flask framework. Okay, and we are exposing model. Okay, this is how we can create like inference for our model and pass on to the other people's so that they can directly use the REST API instead of downloading the model and running model locally. Okay, so this is how model expose in enterprise applications. Okay, so thanks for watching my video. Okay, if you like this particular video and it helps you in any way, please like, subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you so much.